This is a poem called A Gulf Stream Ode. Um, it's partly a memory of my own childhood growing up on the west of Ireland, and being in a certain sense an alien child because I came from parentage that was outside Ireland, South American English. And it seemed to me that I was growing up in a small world, and I was already nostalgic for a larger world out there. One of the things I feel about Ireland is that its greatest epic is not anything that is written down, but it's the epic of the Gulf Stream itself, which is like a great mood-creating masterpiece that moves in off the Atlantic year in and year out, and in which we all inhabit. And it forms us and frames us, and it's our great inclusive epic. And this is a kind of memory of childhood and a sense of wanting to belong, perhaps, to a larger earth force than the small earth force of the west of Ireland. And it's called A Gulf Stream Ode for Laura Allende. To the west of us, like an untold epic, huge and silent, written in air and water, nutrient salts, cold walls and foggy banks dissolving in each other, threading their ways between the islands, Boffin, Inishturk, and the crooked 9-mile fjord of Killary Harbour, Wittgenstein's cottage, Oney King's post office, Faherty's around our summer home, the Gulf Stream ran through childhood. High inland I stopped a minute, for it was lifting, that eternal mist that blots out everything to a distance of 10 yards. A mist off the sea I could conjure out of nowhere to this very day, shrinking the world to microcosm. Water drops, fern leaves, squirming under my boot, a hook in its gullet, the death entanglements of a sargasso eel. It was lifting, and the distances, the space of pure imagining beyond the merely great in the particular, cleared like a depth of field. Away to the west were Carney's acres and his lazy beds, Mullagloss headland with its burial ground abutting on nothingness. Far away no sound, ocean breakers cresting along their lengths, and the rest a legend as yet to be pieced together. Yes, indeed, we were an extraordinary family. Granny Allende, our maternal ancestor, Araucanian cheekbones, almost local, with another life in London, summering here our great enigma. How, I was asking myself even then, enfledged at 12 or 13, how had we fetched up here in this maritime state of warm, wet winters, summers cool and damp, our house so filled with pebbles, seashells, bird cries, hurricane lamps that threw gigantic shadows, calcified fishes, drifted tropical seeds, inscrutable with oceanic force, the Gulf Stream brought us. Shadows, Granny Allende. Even then, I was spooked by my own lost origins. Not that it mattered here, if anywhere. Wittgenstein, they said, was a very strange man, and Slippy Faherty, with a hook for a hand, salting, smoking, curing in his shed, horse mackerel for the winter, cod and pollock. Major Plaistow, back from Japanese camps, shacked up with a local girl. And Nora Burke, abandoned by her man on their wedding night, who farmed the land alone. In my mind's eye, I could see her down there, swishing her great scythe through late July. I could see them all, inhabitants of the Gulf Stream, local, small, absorbed in their business. Only King, with his sheep drops and his week-old telegrams, eavesdropping on Greenland and the late summer run. The Erminger, the Humboldt, Norway currents, awaiting a poacher's moon. Again it would fall, the North Atlantic mist, the long depression stretching to the Arctic. Blow-ins, storms, boreal darkness, nighttime closing in. I would deny everything. Whole decades would pass. Meanwhile, though, unkillable in the grass, Granny Allende, where on earth did you come from? An eel was writhing. Instinct told me, let the thing go. Cold-blooded, let it melt in its own element. An Elver memory, pure nacelle of absolute otherwhere, epic or legend, to get back to once again.